Welcome and good afternoon. This is Commish Orr, and it is time for Game 6 of the Best of the 1990s tournament using season ticket baseball. And this is the matchup between, the World Series matchup, I should say, between the 1990 Oakland Athletics and the 1998 Atlanta Braves. To be honest, I didn't think we would be here. And I don't think Oakland fans thought we would be here, and I don't think Atlanta fans thought we would be here. Because in games 1, 2, and 3, Oakland scored a total of 2 runs. That came by way of a 2-run home run in the 9th inning by Dave Henderson of Game 2. Oakland was shut out in Game 1 by Greg Maddux and shut out in Game 3 by John Smoltz and a miscellaneous other relievers. And it looked like Atlanta was going to kind of have a cakewalk. And they had Greg Maddux back on the mound on short rest in Game 4 to close things out and hopefully sweep the Athletics. But it did not happen, as Oakland came back from a 6-1 deficit to tie and then pull ahead and win Game 4. Then in Game 5, the last game in Oakland, Tom Glavine, the number 2 starter for the Atlanta Braves, though he has struggled some in this tournament, he was the one in Game 2 that all he allowed was a 2-run homer in the 9th. However, in Game 5, he allowed more than that. He allowed a 2-run homer in the first inning to Jose Canseco. That was the first of many runs that Oakland would score. And so Oakland actually was a pretty close game. They scored 4 runs in the first. Atlanta responded with 3 runs in the second, so it looked like it was going to be a close game. But then Oakland just pulled away later on. And I believe they won that one 11-3. So here we are in Game 6. We're back in Atlanta, folks. We are back in Atlanta. And, well, I don't even have to tell you the Atlanta Braves do not want to lose this game and be faced with a Game 7. But Oakland is taking it game by game and hoping for something to happen here to force Game 7 tomorrow. So, let's take a look. We are in Turner Field. And I've already rolled for weather. And I rolled a 5. It is October 22nd. It's a nighttime game. And I rolled 5, which is a 53 degrees, which means we actually have a -1 on our deep drive rolls because of the chilly weather. But it is clear skies and no significant wind. So there aren't any other weather effects other than the chillier temperatures limiting fly balls, the deep flies. Let's take a look at our starting lineups for today's game. And starting pitching, of course. Oakland sending out the same lineup that they've used to win these last couple of games. And leading off for that lineup is Ricky Henderson in left field. Batting second, Willie McGee in center. Batting third, Jose Canseco in right. In the cleanup spot, Mark McGwire at first base. By the way, Canseco and McGwire both had home runs yesterday, or not yesterday, but 2 days ago in last game. Dave Henderson DHing. Walt Weiss batting 6th at shortstop. Carney Lansford batting 7th at third base. Terry Steinbach catching and batting 8th. And finally, Mike Gallego batting 9th and playing second base in place of the injured Willie Randolph, who will miss the rest of the World Series. And on the mound for Oakland, on 3 days rest, Dave Stewart. Dave Stewart out here just trying to get him to game 7 where anything can happen. For the hometown Atlanta Braves, leading off, Walt Weiss at short, Keith Lockhart batting second at second base, Chipper Jones at third base batting third, Andres Galarraga batting fourth and at first base, Ryan Klesko back in the lineup after missing a couple of games with injury. He's back in left field. Javi Lopez batting sixth at catching. Gerald Williams is batting seventh at DH. Andrew Jones batting eighth in center field. And Michael Tucker batting ninth in right field. They also lost both games that Klesko wasn't in the lineup. Not that Klesko has that big of an impact, but just something to note. On the mound for Atlanta, making his first start of the World Series, is Denny Neagle. Because of the 3-game short rest for Maddox and Tom Glavine, Neagle has not had a start yet. But of course, John Smoltz is out for the rest of the World Series himself. And so Neagle is going to have to be used. Their fourth pitcher, if they need him, would be Kevin Millwood, who came in when Smoltz got injured. So that's what we're looking at today, folks. And we are ready for the first pitch here at Turner Field. And Neagle deals to Rickey Henderson. And 620. 620 here is a pop-up on the infield. Keith Lockhart's the other. It is Keith Lockhart. It is Keith Lockhart. I had to move my lineup back up. Keith Lockhart is under it and hauls it in for out number 1. Rickey has had, he's had one good game. Game 4. Not done so much other than that. And up to bat, Willie McGee, sitting 297 in the tournament. And he's going to draw a walk here from Neagle. Willie McGee draws a walk. Neagle has a decent hold of 6. 9 plus a steal. That's not going to get him there. So McGee will stay put and bring up Jose Canseco, who hit that first inning 2-run shot in Game 5. 273. That's going to be a deep drive, folks. That's going to be a deep drive to left field. And 6 plus 6, that's 12. Plus 9 is 21. Minus 1 for the wind. For the cooler temps, that's going to be a 20. Still got to be a home run, though, right? And it is. That's deep. That's at the wall and out of here. Canseco with another first inning 2-run homer. And just like that, Oakland's on the board. Interesting to note that without the chilly temperatures, that would have been a flyout. Klesko would have robbed Canseco of that home run. In any event, that brings up Mark McGwire. 1 down, nobody on now. And McGwire grounds this one to second. Lockhart over to first. 2 down. Dave Henderson. And he strikes him out. Henderson strikes out to end the inning. But not before Oakland takes a 2-0 lead before Atlanta's even had a chance to bat. If you hear some whining, that's my dog. Apologize for that. She's not caring for the situation right now. All right, so Dave Stewart's in to face Walt Weiss, Keith Lockhart, and Chipper Jones. Stewart deals to Weiss. Rare play. The dreaded rare play, 362. This could be anything. 362. And it's going to be a single. And if the white die is greater than center fielder's fielding, he's going to advance to second on a fielding error by the center fielder. 6. Fielding is 5. He will advance. So Walt Weiss on with a base hit. McGee bobbles it a little bit. And Weiss advances to second on the play. So, Braves have a runner on second. Weiss, they are behind, so he doesn't get the +1, but it doesn't matter. 7 plus steal. Okay, he's not going to attempt anything with third. And brings up Keith Lockhart. 254. Lockhart is a lefty. And this one's going to be popped up on the infield. Okay, I go under it for out number 1. Chipper Jones. As I mentioned, Chipper has not had a great World Series. 138. This is a grounder to first. McGuire's only move will be to flip the ball to Stewart to get Chipper at first. Weiss advances to third on the play. And Andres Galarraga. Galarraga had 2 amazing games in games 2 and 3. He did hit a home run to lead off the 4th game, too. Quiet since then. This one's a sharp grounder past Weiss into the outfield. And past Oakland's Weiss, Walt Weiss will score, or Atlanta's Weiss will score on the play. And just like that, it is a 2-1 game. Ryan Klesko. Klesko is hitting .406 in the tournament as a whole. But this time he strikes out. And it's a drop third strike, but they will throw to first to get him. For the third out, but not before Atlanta gets 1 back. Way to the top of the second. Neagle dealing to Weiss. 186 wild pitch means nothing, so we re-roll. 259. Weiss is a switch hitter. He'll be a righty here against Neagle. And that's a deep center field, but again, Weiss not with much power. That's still probably going to be something. 8 plus 1 is a 9, minus the 1 for the cooler temps. That's an 8 to center field, which is a single. So Weiss has a base hit to lead off the second. And that he's not going anywhere with those lead numbers. Brings up Carney Lansford. 674. Atlanta with a much better possibility of base hits here with stadium numbers, and this will be one. As Lansford laces one into center field. Center field, that's Andrew Jones. Weiss not going to try the arm of Andrew Jones. So first and second, Neagle into a little bit of trouble here to start the second. Terry Steinbach. 205 becomes a 405, and this is a grounder to second. Lockhart flips to Weiss, but they cannot turn 2. Oakland's Walt Weiss will advance to third on the play. And Steinbach will be at first base. Corners are in for Atlanta. 640. 640. And that is a sharp grounder to first. And it gets by Galarraga, who's pulled in. Weiss will score, and Steinbach will hold up at second. So that only happens because Galarraga was in. So that's another run. They get the run back. And Ricky Henderson's up with just one out now. First and second, and just one down. 359. And that's a walk. That's going to load the bases. There's already activity in the Atlanta bullpen. Bases are loaded. Willie McGee. Infield is in. And Willie McGee bloops one over the infield. That will score Steinbach. And bases are still loaded with one out. Neagle, maybe a little rusty from not pitching in the series so far. Still one out. He's going to have to face Canseco here. Oakland now up 4-1. They're playing in again. And he strikes him out. Blows that one by Canseco. And that's out number 2. Defense back. McGuire at the plate. And McGuire grounds this one to Lockhart, who will flip to Weiss for out number 3. But not before Oakland gets a couple more runs. Way to the bottom of the second. Oakland now up 4-1. Stewart deals to Lopez. 325, and he strikes him out. Lopez fooled by a pitch on the outside corner. One down. Gerald Williams. Gerald Williams bloops one into the gap. He'll be around first. And slides in for a double. One out double here for Williams. He's not going anywhere on the steal. Andrew Jones steps in. And he strikes him out. That's the third strikeout for Stewart. Second this inning. Michael Tucker. And that's another strikeout. Stewart strikes out the side here in the second after allowing that double to Gerald Williams. So Neagle back on the mound. They don't want to totally blow their bullpen. They have another game to play if Oakland wins this one. But still fairly close, 3-run game here. Neagle faces off against Henderson. And he walks him. A leadoff walk here in the third. Brings up Walt Weiss. And I believe one. Okay. Just seeing if Weiss was going to try to sacrifice here, but he does not. 409, and Neagle's a lefty, and he strikes him out. Blows that one by Weiss for out number 1. Carney Lansford. Lansford had the single in the last inning. And this is going to be another single, this time to right field. Let's see. Right fielder arm is a 3. Henderson's speed is a 3. So generally, as long as it says maybe, one out, maybe, speed equals or exceeds the fielder's arm, he is going to try to get to third on this. Oh, he's not going to make it, though. So single to right. Yeah, single to right. And 5 plus Henderson's speed is an 8. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, you know what's going to happen here. All right, so Lansford singles. Henderson's going to be gunned down at third because the arm of Tucker is 3, and so he's going to lose the challenge here. Also, because 2 of the challenge dice equal Lansford's running, they're going to get him too. Advancing on the throw. The trail runner gets thrown out trying to advance on the throw. If 2 or more dice equal the trail runner's speed, the trail runner is out trying to advance. So, crazy mistake here by Oakland on the base paths. As Lansford singles, and then he's going to be out at second trying to stretch a single into a double, we'll say. All right, so the assist goes to Tucker and Wright. Put out at third. And then the assist at third. Put out at second. So a 9-5-4 double play to end the inning. So big mistake there for Oakland on the base paths. And let's see if Atlanta can take advantage of that as we head to the bottom of the third. Stewart facing off against Weiss. 641 becomes a 651. Not high enough though, as it's a grounder to short. Weiss will put himself out for out number 1. Keith Lockhart, 0 for 1 today. 627 becomes a 637. And this one's a grounder to first. McGuire takes it to the bag himself for out number 2. Chipper Jones. And Chipper Jones pops this one up on the infield. Lansford with plenty of room. And he hauls it in for the third out. 1-2-3 inning there for Stewart. Neagle gets to work again against Steinbach, Gallego, and Ricky Henderson. And this one is hit to Weiss, who bobbles it. Steinbach's going to be safe at first on the error. That's not how you want to start the inning. And Gallego's going to be bunting, a sacrifice bunt here, because his bunting is way higher than his power and contact. And it's going to be a 10. So sacrifice. $10. Oh, he pops this one up to the catcher. Pop out to the catcher. Lopez nabs it for 1 down. Couldn't advance him. That brings up Ricky Henderson. And Henderson draws another walk. Second walk for Ricky today, but unfortunately he has nowhere he can go. So first and second, 1 down for Willie McGee. And McGee hits this one to third. Jones throws to second. They get Ricky, but they can't turn 2. All right, so McGee on first. He does not try to go. Runners on the corners, 2 down for Canseco. 6:54. And that'll end the inning, as that's a grounder to short. Weiss flips to Lockhart. And that's the third out. So no harm done there by the error. Neagle just barely getting through these innings. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Oakland still up 4-1. And Stewart fools Galarraga, who watches strike 3. That's his first strikeout of the game. Galarraga's, that is. It's the 5th for Stewart. Ryan Klesko. 674 becomes a 684. That's going to be something here. As a base hit. Klesko with a single here in the 4th. Atlanta trying to add to that single. Javi Lopez. 668 becomes a 678. That's also going to be something, I'm sure. And it is. That's another base hit. Klesko rounds second and is into third. We now have runners on the corners with just one out. And Oakland's going to play corners in here. They want to maintain that lead if they can. Gerald Williams, 166, and he walks him. Stewart in some trouble here in the 4th inning as the bases are now loaded with just one out for Andrew Jones. Infield in. 481. That's going to be a deep fly to center. Back close to the warning track. McGee hauls it in. But Klesko's going to score easily on the play. And Lopez is going to advance to third. A 4-2 ball game. 2 down. Runners on the corners still for Michael Tucker. 424. Oh boy. Tucker just gets the bat on it. Hit to right center. Lopez scores and Williams will get into third easily. Runners still on the corners. Tucker is not going to try to do anything there. 4-3 ball game. 2 down. Runners on the corners for Walt Weiss. 625 becomes a 635. And this should probably end the inning. It does. Weiss flies this one to center. McGee will haul it in for out number 3, but not before Atlanta gets a couple of big runs back. We have a 1-run ball game here, heading into the 5th. Neagle will face McGuire here to start the 5th. And McGuire grounds this one to second. Lockhart over to first. 1 down. Dave Henderson. Henderson grounds this one to third. Jones will have an easy play, and that's 2 outs. Weiss is 1 for 2 today. He struck out in his last at bat. And he strikes out again. Neagle with a 1-2-3 inning here in the 5th. So Neagle's kind of calmed down a little bit since those first couple of innings. Now the pressure's on Dave Stewart to keep the lead here. First up is Keith Lockhart. And Lockhart pops this one up, or excuse me, it's a line out. A line out. Lansford stabs at it and makes the catch for out number 1. Chipper Jones. 635 becomes a 645 for the home team. And Jones grounds this one to second. Easy play for out number 2. Galarraga steps in. 461. And Stewart strikes him out. Second strikeout for Galarraga. And a 1-2-3 inning for Stewart. We head to the 6th. Oakland still up 4-3. First up is Carney Lansford, who's 2 for 2 today. He's had a great series. He drives this one to left. Easy play for Klesko, though. One down. Terry Steinbach. 687. That's going to be something. 687, and that's going to be a ground rule double. Towards the corner and bounces over the fence. And Steinbach is into second with a double. Neagle now has 1 level of fatigue, as his stamina was 5. Gallego is 1 for 2. He had an RBI in the second inning, RBI single. He grounds this one to second. Lockhart throws over to first for the second out. And Steinbach will advance to third on the play. Back to Ricky. Ricky is 0 for 1, but he's walked twice. And 558, that's going to be a base hit past Chipper Jones. Chipper made a diving attempt at it. Steinbach scores. And Ricky's into first with a base hit. And you know what that means. 14 plus his steal is an 18. That's more than the hold of Neagle is 16. Fielding's not going to be anything. Pickoff's not going to be anything. 10 plus his speed is an 18. And Ricky's going to have a stolen base here. So Ricky steals second. So now we have 2 outs, runner on second for Willie McGee. And Neagle has 2 levels of fatigue now. 376. And McGee grounds this one to third. Jones over to first. That will end the inning, but not before Oakland gets a run back. 5-3 score, heading to the bottom of the 6th. Stewart's stamina is 6, so he's still good this inning. He'll face Ryan Klesko. 335. Klesko barely gets a hold of this one. It bounces in front of the plate. Steinbach out to grab it, but he will not have a play. That's going to be a leadoff single here for Klesko. Javi Lopez. 277. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Deep left field. Deep left field. 15 plus a 9 is a 24. Minus 1 is a 23. Deep left field. That is back. It's at the wall and gone. 2-run homer here for Javi Lopez in the 6th inning. And the score is tied 5-5. We have a ball game again, folks, as Atlanta has tied it up here in the bottom of the 6th. Stewart will be subject to fatigue now. And Gerald Williams will be up with no outs. He pops this one up behind the plate to Steinbach for the first out of the inning. Andrew Jones. Jones grounds this one to short. Weiss over to first. 2 down. Michael Tucker, he's 1 for 2. He had an RBI single in his last at bat. 451. And this time he flies this one to center. McGee, he has to go back a little bit for it, but he'll have it for out number 3. But we have a ball game again here. 5-5. Top of the 7th. And Canseco stepping in. Neagle will at least face Canseco. 433. That's a deep fly to center. Crowd on their feet, but it looks like it won't be deep enough, as Andrew Jones is able to get there for out number 1. McGuire's 0 for 3 today. And this one's a comebacker to the pitcher. Neagle gets his glove up just in time. Makes a dramatic catch for out number 2. Dave Henderson. Henderson lifts this one to right field. Tucker on the run and just makes the catch. 1-2-3 inning here in the 7th for Neagle. And it's the 7th inning stretch. Oakland, 5 runs on 8 hits and 1 error. Atlanta, 5 runs on 8 hits and 1 error. Evenly matched here. Stewart does not have any levels of fatigue yet. He will deal to Walt Weiss. There is activity in the bullpen. And Weiss with a leadoff single here to lead off the 7th. 374, yep, barely. So tie ball game, 8 plus steal. Okay, Weiss isn't going anywhere. Keith Lockhart, 534. That's a grounder to McGuire. His only play will be to first, and he beats Lockhart to the bag. But Weiss will advance to second on the play. So Atlanta with a runner in scoring position. Chipper Jones 0 for 3 today. Hoping to break out of his slump here. 570. Oh, he is going to break out of that slump. As that's a base hit. Ricky can't get to it. Weiss scores. Chipper with an RBI single here, and Atlanta has a 6-5 lead. Chipper not going anywhere. Stewart. Stewart will face Galarraga. Actually, no. Why? Why have him face Galarraga? No sense in it. Stewart's got to come out here, folks. Their bullpen is all fresh. Their bullpen is all fresh. 6 1/3 for Stewart. 6 1/3 for Stewart. And in will come Gene Nelson, I believe. Righty, lefty, righty. Yeah, Gene Nelson's coming in to pitch for Oakland. Nelson's very good. And he will have his work cut out for him as he's going to face Galarraga here with a runner on and 1 out. 254. All right, Galarraga grounds this one back to Nelson. He turns and throws to second. They get the lead runner. Can't complete 2. 2 down now. And Klesko up with 1 out. Or 2 outs, excuse me. 2-13, and Klesko's a lefty. He strikes him out. Nelson with a clutch strikeout here to end the 7th, but not before Atlanta takes the lead. We head to the 8th, and Neagle will exit the game after 7 innings here now that they have a lead. So 7 innings for Neagle. Atlanta clinging to a 1-run lead here, hoping to close this out. And let's see who's coming up for Oakland. Righty, righty, righty. Weiss, Langford, Steinbach. Now some of that's because of switch hitters. Yep. And in to pitch will be John Rocker. John Rocker. Even though he's a lefty. He will come in to shut things down, hopefully. That's what Atlanta's hoping for. First up will be Walt Weiss. And Weiss lifts a deep fly ball to center. Jones near the wall. but stays in for 1 down here. Lansford. Lansford is 2 for 3. 337. And he grounds this one to third. Jones over to first, 2 down. Steinbach. Steinbach's also 2 for 3. He's scored twice. 602, that's not going to be anything. 602. This one's grounded to Weiss, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Oakland. Not the way they wanted that inning to go. Gene Nelson stays in. He has 1 stamina, so he's subject to fatigue now. There is activity in the bullpen. Javi Lopez will be the first one up. 405, and Lopez grounds one to second. Gallego over to first for out number 1. Lopez with a big 2-run homer in his last at bat. Now Gerald Williams. Williams 1 for 2 today with a walk. 128. He grounds one back to Nelson. Nelson will throw to first for the second out. 2 quick outs here for Atlanta. Andrew Jones. 537. And that's going to be a single past McGuire. Jones rounds. And let's see, Nelson has a good hold, so Jones will stay there. Brings up Michael Tucker. 513. That'll be the end of the inning. It's another ground ball back to Nelson. He takes it to first for the third out. We head to the top of the 9th. Atlanta up 6-5. This could be it. This could be the final 3 outs here, folks. And Rocker is coming out. And in for the first time in the series will be Kerry Lightenberg. Hasn't pitched yet in the series, in this World Series. He's pitched in the tournament, of course. And first up would be Gallego if they leave him in. And Oakland does not have very many options. Very many good options on the bench. But they do have Jamie Quirk. So Jamie Quirk will pinch hit here. Just to hopefully get somebody on. They'll deal with second base here if they need to. So Lightenberg will face Jamie Quirk. 243, and he strikes him out. Blows it right by him. That brings up Ricky Henderson. Henderson 1 for 2. 2 walks, an RBI single, and a stolen base. He needs to try to get on base for his team because if he can get on and steal second, they'll have a runner in scoring position. 458. That is not going to do it as he grounds this one to short. Close play at first, but Weiss just gets him. 2 down now. Willie McGee, Oakland's last hope. 177. And he draws a walk. 2-out walk here for McGee. McGee will not attempt, even though Lightenberg doesn't hold runners on very well. But he's not able to get a lead. And he'll turn things over to Jose Canseco, the first of the Bash brothers. Canseco had a 2-run homer in the first. They're hoping he can do something here. 474. Oh my gosh. Canseco gets a hold of one. It is back. It is deep at the wall and gone. 2-run homer for Jose Canseco, his second of the day. And Oakland now has a 7-6 lead in a dramatic ninth inning. Atlanta fans are hushed. Lightenberg will face McGuire. And he strikes him out. But the damage has already been done. I believe Oakland has to bring in Lance Blankenship to play second. This Quirk isn't going to do it. Blankenship does play second base, so Blankenship will come in to play second. That's the first thing. And then he will also come into the spot that Jamie Quirk just hit in. We're to the bottom of the ninth, folks. And in for Oakland is none other than Dennis Eckersley. Dennis Eckersley will take the mound for Oakland with a one-run lead. If he can hold on here, they will force Game 7. But he'll have to do it against the top of the Atlanta order. Starting with Walt Weiss. Weiss 2 for 4 today. He's scored twice. Eckersley deals. And Weiss pops this one up to third. Lansford in foul territory, but hauls it in for out number 1. Keith Lockhart. Lockhart is 0 for 4 today. 641 becomes a 651. I don't think that's high enough. It is not. This is a grounder to short. Weiss over to first for out number 2. Chipper Jones, the last hope for Atlanta. Fans are on their feet but quiet. Still stunned about what happened. And Chipper grounds this one to McGuire at first. McGuire flips to Eckersley, and they just beat Chipper Jones at the bag. That's the end of the ball game, folks. The end of the game. Oakland has pulled one out to win this one in the 9th inning. Lightenberg blows a save and picks up the loss. Nelson gets the win. Eckersley with the save in a 1-2-3 inning. Atlanta stunned. They came back and tied the game. They pulled ahead in the 7th. Thanks to a base hit by Chipper Jones, but could not hold the lead as Jose Canseco hits two two-run homers in this game. Crazy stuff. We will have a Game 7. We will have a Game 7. All right, folks. Well, Oakland had 7 runs on just 9 hits and 1 error. Atlanta, 6 runs on 11 hits and 1 error. Jose Canseco, star of the game. 2 for 5. He sandwiched those 3 outs in between 2 two-run homers. Down to their last out, Willie McGee draws a 2-out walk, and Jose Canseco takes it home with a massive home run to give Oakland the 7-6 win here in Game 6. So Stewart didn't exactly get it done the way they wanted. On the mound for Oakland will be Scott Sanderson. Not necessarily who you would consider for a Game 7 starter. But as I said, Oakland was just trying to get to Game 7, knowing that anything can happen. Sanderson, 17-11 that year with a 3.88 ERA. Meanwhile, Greg Maddux, let us see 2-1-0. All right, so this is a 3, which means Maddux will have one level of fatigue. So it looks like what they're going to do is they're going to have Maddux pitch with one level of fatigue here in Game 7. Or do they? Actually, you know what? They have enough of the bullpen. They have enough of the bullpen that they will allow Millwood to get a start here. And then if they need to, they can bring in Maddux or whoever. What I've tried to do in this tournament and the World Series in these is stick pretty closely to the auto manager choices. And I've not yet had a pitcher pitch with a level of fatigue. So had I rolled a 2-1 or a 0, Maddux would have started on short rest like he did in Game 4. But he will not be able to pitch on short rest without that level of fatigue. So I am not going to break the rule here to have him come out in Game 7. Instead, Millwood will start, and we'll take it from there with relievers as needed. All right, folks, that's where we will end things. If you've been watching these games, Oakland's comeback has been crazy. After the first 3 games, I would have never imagined that they could have done this in the next 3. But they have. And so, stay tuned. It may be a few days. Stay tuned for Game 7. As always, head over to baseballmaelstrom.com to follow the action. You want to follow all of the action, you can do that. And I thank you so much for watching, and until next time, have a great evening.